please put on your mask before helping those around you. This is a sentiment that I think we can all get behind. After all, it's hard to help others when we ourselves cannot breathe. In the mental health world, we use the phrase care for the caregiver. And although I myself am not a clinician, I have to own a certain degree of responsibility for being held up in this Wichita community as someone who provides mental health care to others. And therefore, I also have a responsibility to care for myself. For me, this is particularly important because I have lived nearly my entire life with major depressive disorder. Knowing this, I did not make the decision lightly when last year I decided to purchase a rifle. Because I know from my history that there are times in the past when, had I owned a gun, I would have used it. Fortunately for me, because I work at MHA, I have been encouraged and given the opportunity to create a plan for those times in my life when a gun seemed like the easiest way out. As a plan A, for instance, my wife knows that there are likely going to be times in our lives together when I text her and tell her she needs to get home before I do so that she can hide the rifle. Failing that, as a plan B, my neighbor knows that I might bring it over to him and ask him to hold on to it for a few days. And those plans seemed good to me up until one evening last November. My depression had been triggered by an incident earlier in the day, and I got home that Friday evening only to remember that my wife was out of town for several days and my neighbor wasn't home. I was alone in the house with a gun. And ever the pragmatist that I am, I began rescheduling meetings for the following week based on the assumption that I wasn't going to be around. Now, academically, I knew that there are people out there who cared about me and who would want me to call them as a plan C or D or E. Just as I know that nearly everyone who takes their own life has people around them who love them, and any number of reasons why they matter in this world. But the nefarious nature of depression is that the biologic reaction of our brains with this illness does not allow those signals to get through, much like an anesthetic stops the pain signals from getting through. That night, for over an hour, backlit only by the moon coming through the window behind me, I pondered what my options were that wouldn't inconvenience anyone too badly. And I remembered 988. Now, it would be easy to say that 988 saved my life, and in some respects it did. But if I didn't work at MHA, if I wasn't trained on harm reduction or limiting access to lethal means, if I hadn't given dozens of speeches and lunch and learns on this exact topic, I don't want to think about what might have happened that night. And I had that training and those speaking opportunities and that awareness because there is an organization in this city who offers comprehensive mental health care to thousands and thousands of your friends and family members each and every year. And that organization is what brings us together to celebrate tonight, and they deserve your support. Our message at MHA is recovery. Depression, anxiety, substance use disorders, these are not life sentences. Too many people in our midst tonight or surrounding us in our offices on Monday morning believe that because there is no cure, there is no hope. But nothing could be further from the truth. Our case managers, our therapists, our program directors, these frontline folks at MHA save lives every single day, even if they don't know it. And they're able to do that work because the people in this room tonight value both the lives and the quality of life that we make possible throughout South Central Kansas every day. Tonight is just your chance to show us how much. Thank you for what you do and for making what we do possible.